Many of you are saying these men aren't leaders, but you don't even know how to be a follower. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bella's Corner, where the truth is delivered with love. Thank you so much for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. If you're new, welcome. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of my new uploads or when I go live. And ladies, always remember to keep it classy and never trashy. I'm Femininity Coach Bella. Let's go ahead and get into it. So we have a clip from tonight's conversation, and I think this one is a good one because it is right up my alley as it pertains to how to become a wife. And I think this is a good one because it reminds me of the statement where people say, don't do wifely duties when you're not a wife. And I think this puts that conversation kind of into another perspective. And so let's go ahead and check it out, and we're going to talk about it.
Do wife duties, display wife qualities. I think you can absolutely display that you have every quality that a wife should have without doing it all for it. I can show you what I got without giving it to you. For example, as a man who's dating, right? I can show you that I provide infrastructure. I'll plan the whole date. All you got to do is tell me when you're available. If you have any dietary restrictions, if you have, right? If we talking about protection on the first date, right? I don't like married men. I don't owe you the protection of laying down my life, but I can make sure you actually make it to your door when I drop you off. I can walk closest to the street when we walking on the sidewalk. I can show you that I'm paying attention, that I'm considering you. You feel me? So when you look at the inverse of that and look at what you consider a good wife, you can show a man in the beginning a whole lot of things. And you don't have to center him in any of it, because that's what it means to do wife for a man that's not your husband, is to start to center him in your life. And that's not your husband. You feel me? Like, y'all not a unit yet. So to center him in your life doesn't necessarily make sense, but you can show him a whole lot of sweet.
So I think an important part of this conversation is operating with intention, displaying who you are, what your qualities are, without going overboard, without looking desperate, without essentially spreading yourself thin, especially for the wrong person. Because at the end of the day, what dating, right, or courting is supposed to be is an audition for marriage. You have to audition in order to prove that you're the right person for that part. Ladies, you have to be willing to audition. Whether you're the only person in line waiting to audition, or whether other women have auditioned already. Because see, you're not worried about if this man has already taken auditions. You shouldn't have to worry about if another woman is already auditioning, or if she's already come to the quote casting call, if you will. Because you're showing up ready to display who you are, and he's going to pick you up if you're the one. My husband was, in a sense, occupied. But when I showed up in his life as who I am, I displayed my wifely qualities. He made the decision to drop them. He made the decision to prioritize me. He made the decision to provide to me his audition tape. Not only was I auditioning, he was auditioning too. And we realized that we fit into each other's lives in the way we wanted each other to, in the way that we needed.
Do wife duties, display wife qualities. I think you can absolutely display that you have every quality that a wife should have without doing it all for it.
And then I'm going to say this, ladies. A man quickly knows if you're a wife and his wife. Now, that isn't to say that he's going to propose quickly, but he knows. He may make you wait for a little while longer to see if you're going to hit, do the bait and switch on him, to see if you're crazy or not, to be able to dig into your life a little bit more, get around your friends, your family, and things of that nature. See how you behave and react in different environments and situations. But generally speaking, a man, again, knows if you're a wife or not. And he knows if you're his wife or not.
I can show you what I got without giving it to you. For example, as a man who's dating, right? I can show you that I provide infrastructure. I'll plan the whole date. All you got to do is tell me when you're available. If you have any dietary restrictions, if you have, right? If we talking about protection on the first date, right? Married men, I don't owe you the protection of laying down my life, but I can make sure you actually make it to your door when I drop you off.
Absolutely.
I can walk closest to the street when we walking on the sidewalk. I can show you that I'm paying attention, that I'm considering you. You feel me? So when you look at the inverse of that and look at what you consider a good wife, you can show a man in the beginning a whole lot of things.
See, I liked how he talked about how he, as a man, can show that he's a man, that he's a leader, that he can protect, and that he can lead. But here's the thing. Ladies, accepting these things from him require you to be submissive. It requires you to give him room to operate in the way in which he thinks is necessary. It requires you to be some form of vulnerable. If you want him to protect you, you have to listen. You have to stop being so hard-headed. You don't know everything. Maybe you thought of a way to do something, but maybe he wants to do it a different way or another way. Will you submit? He may do it in a way that you wouldn't have thought of, but your way is not the way. It is a way. And his way may work for him for whatever his personal reasons are. But again, are you willing to submit? He said he can show you that he can protect you by ensuring that you get up to your door, you walk up to your door safely. That's chivalry. But are you worth him providing those chivalrous actions for? Men do those things for women who are not hardened, for women who actually appreciate a man, a masculine man, for who he is and for what he comes with. Because if and when you become his lady, the things that he displayed, the small efforts of protection and things of that nature, they're only going to become greater. So he's going to say, let me know when you get to where you're going. If you say that is controlling, are you ready for the true protection of a man? If you say that's surveillance, are you truly ready to submit to a masculine man? When he says he can provide you infrastructure, that says, yes, he can provide order. Are you willing to accept his order? Or will you rebel? Will you call him a narcissist? Will you allow your friends or your family to poison you against a man who is ready to be a husband to a wife? Are you ready? Because I'm going to tell you, ladies, you're not going to always agree with your man. You're not always going to agree with his decisions. You're not going to always agree with, again, the way he does something. Don't you want a leader? Don't you want a protector? A man cannot lead what he cannot protect. A man cannot lead what he cannot control. You have to relinquish that control in order for him to lead you properly. Many of you are saying these men aren't leaders, but you don't even know how to be a follower. Therefore, you're picking men who are not leaders. You're picking men who are emotional like you. Leaders cannot be emotional. Leaders have to be able to lead under duress, under pressure. Many of you say that you want a man who can tap into his feminine, but do you understand how dangerous that is to say you want an emotional leader? Do you understand? An emotional leader is one who is going to succumb to the pressure of a decision that could lead to the detriment of themselves and whomever their followers are. Do you understand? This is the beauty of the difference of the masculine versus the feminine. Feminine is emotional first, logic second. Masculinity, and I'm talking about, healed and pure masculinity, is a logic first. Then emotions are to be considered. This is why men make the better leaders. This is why men make better soldiers. Because it takes a certain type of mindset. But are you willing to submit? Can you submit? Can you say, even though I don't agree, even though I'm being emotional right now, I'm going to be meek. What is being meek? Controlled power. Meek is not equal to weak. Submission is powerful, ladies, and I need you to break out of the feminist mindset that it is weakness. Femininity is not weakness, babe. And when you submit to a masculine man, he will, as he mentioned, the husband laying down his life, he will step in front of a bullet for you. He will vow his life to you because you have equipped him with the confidence from yourself through how you treat him, that you trust him, to lead. That is what wives do. But you have to show that you can submit to his order bit by bit prior to him getting down on one knee, prior to him saying, I love you, prior to him asking you to be exclusive with him or be his girlfriend. That is how you show a wife equality, by sending him that text. Hey, I made it. It was nice seeing you. Looking forward to seeing you again.
And you don't have to center him in any of it, because that's what it means to do wife for a man that's not your husband, is to start to center him in your life. And that's not your husband. You feel me? Like, y'all not a unit yet. So to center him in your life doesn't necessarily make sense, but you can show him a whole lot of sweet.
It was interesting how he put that. But at the end of the day, when you show that you are a wife through your character and through your actions and the qualities that you display, you thereby show him that you have the ability and the willingness to center him in your life, to prioritize him in the relationship. That isn't to say that you're going to be perfect. That isn't to say that he's going to be perfect. And you also have to take into account that it's always best to keep intimacy out of it, physical intimacy. So that way you can move in clarity and in wisdom and in caution without your emotions getting involved too much in an unhealthy way that will blind you to the red flags. And this is going to be the last thing that I'm going to say, and I've said this before. Red flags are not equal to flaws. Flaws are not equal to red flags. Use your discernment to be able to distinguish between the two. But a masculine man who's willing to take accountability and who's willing to self-reflect, if there is an issue or a flaw that comes up that makes you uncomfortable or that you don't like or something that you address, you should be able to have that conversation with him respectfully and empathetically. But you can have the conversation nonetheless. And you are expected to do the same, because that's what big girls do. That's what women do. That's what feminine women do. And if you're able to do that within the relationship, and if he's willing to do that, that is a good sign that you two have compatibility, that you two will be good together because you're willing to evolve together as individuals. And that is another awesome quality to show. But that's all I have for you. The truth has been signed, sealed, and delivered by yours truly. If you like the content you see, then please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of my new uploads or when I go live. And if you know of any women who you think would benefit from this information, then please share. And until next time, I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.